ChatGPT 5.5 is officially here, and this is not just another small model bump. OpenAI is pitching it as a model built for real work. That means harder tasks, better tool use, and more follow-through. But the real question is simple. What actually changed, and should you care? ChatGPT 5.5 is here. What actually changed and why it matters? Hey, if we haven't met yet, I'm the digital avatar for Hendrix Vera from Spin the Block Studio, where we break down AI updates into clear, practical takeaways. OpenAI announced GPT 5.5 on April 23, 2026, and the company is framing it as a new class of intelligence for real work. That sounds big, but here's the simple version. OpenAI says GPT 5.5 is better at understanding messy goals, using tools, checking its own work, and carrying multi-step tasks closer to completion instead of stopping at a pretty first draft. So what changed? First, GPT 5.5 is being positioned less like a chatbot upgrade and more like a work model. OpenAI says it is stronger at coding, online research, data analysis, document creation, spreadsheets, software operation, and moving across tools until a task is finished. That is the core story here. The update is not just about sounding smarter. It is about being more useful when the task has multiple steps and a little chaos built into it. Second, this is rolling out now inside ChatGPT and Codex, but not fully to the API today. In ChatGPT, GPT 5.5 thinking is rolling out to Plus, Pro, Business, and Enterprise users. GPT 5.5 Pro is rolling out to Pro, Business, and Enterprise users. OpenAI also says API access is coming very soon, but it is not launching there today because API deployments need different safeguards. That matters because a lot of people hear new model and assume it is instantly everywhere. It is not. It is live now in ChatGPT and Codex for certain plans, and broader API access is still pending. Third, OpenAI says GPT 5.5 is better at sustained work. In the Help Center, OpenAI describes GPT 5.5 thinking as its most capable reasoning model in ChatGPT for difficult real-world work. It says the model can better understand complex goals, use tools, check its work, and keep track of what it has already done. That sounds small on paper, but in practice, this is one of the biggest pain points with AI systems. A model can look brilliant for one reply and then lose the thread by step 4. OpenAI is saying GPT 5.5 improves exactly that. Now let's talk benchmarks, because this is where the update becomes more concrete. On OpenAI's release page, GPT 5.5 outperforms GPT 5.4 on several published evaluations. On Terminal Bench 2.0, it scores 82.7% versus 75.1% for GPT 5.4. On OS World Verified, which measures computer use performance, it scores 78.7% versus 75.0%. On BrowseComp, it scores 84.4% versus 82.7%. On Toolathlon, it scores 55.6% versus 54.6%. Those are not tiny because they all point in the same direction. More reliable action across coding, computer use, browsing, and tool workflows. There are also gains in professional and research-style tasks. OpenAI reports 84.9% on GDP Val, 60.0% on Finance Agent v1.1, and says GPT 5.5 improves over GPT 5.4 on GeneBench for scientific data analysis workflows. OpenAI also says the model is better at persisting through multi-stage research loops, which is a fancy way of saying it can keep working through an idea instead of giving up after one pass. Another important detail is efficiency. OpenAI says GPT 5.5 matches GPT 5.4 on per-token latency in real-world serving while performing at a higher level, and it says GPT 5.5 uses significantly fewer tokens to complete the same Codex tasks. That means the company is not only selling raw intelligence here, it is also selling a better work-to-token ratio. For Codex users, there is another notable update. OpenAI's developer changelog says GPT 5.5 is now the recommended choice for most Codex tasks and highlights implementation, refactors, debugging, testing, validation, and knowledge work artifacts as strong fits. In other words, OpenAI is not treating this like an optional side model. It is positioning GPT 5.5 as the default heavy lifter for serious work. Now let's get practical. If you are a normal ChatGPT user, the biggest difference is probably not going to be one magical answer. It is going to be how the model behaves on messy assignments. Think research plus synthesis plus drafting. Think spreadsheet cleanup plus summary plus next step memo. Think reviewing a pile of notes, finding what matters, and turning that into a clean output. That is the type of workflow OpenAI is pointing toward. If you are a builder, agency, or operator, this matters even more. At Spin the Block Studio, this is the kind of release that changes workflow design. Instead of chaining too many tiny prompts together, a stronger model with better follow-through can take on larger task blocks. That can mean fewer fragile handoffs, fewer retries, and less babysitting when you are building research systems, content pipelines, or coding workflows. That part is an interpretation, but it follows from OpenAI's own emphasis on tool use, completion, and agent-style work. There is also a safety angle here, and it matters. OpenAI says GPT 5.5 ships with its strongest safeguards to date. The company says it ran the model through its full safety and preparedness evaluations, added targeted testing for advanced cybersecurity and biology risks, worked with internal and external red teamers, and gathered feedback from nearly 200 trusted early access partners before release. That does not mean the model is risk-free. It means OpenAI is explicitly acknowledging that stronger models need stronger controls. One more detail worth knowing inside ChatGPT, OpenAI says GPT 5.3 is now the default for all logged-in users, while GPT 5.5 Thinking and GPT 5.5 Pro sit behind the model picker for eligible plans. OpenAI also says Instant Mode can automatically switch to GPT 5.5 Thinking for more complex tasks. So depending on your plan and settings, some people may feel parts of this upgrade before they manually select the model. So, bottom line, ChatGPT 5.5 looks like a real release, not just a marketing rename. OpenAI is backing it with rollout details, benchmark improvements, codex positioning, and a stronger safety story. The main promise is not the smartest AI ever in a vague sense. The real promise is better follow-through on real tasks, less hand-holding, better tool use, better persistence, better results on work that does not fit into one neat prompt. And that is the test I would use. Not whether it writes one clever paragraph, whether it can take a rough goal, work through the mess, and get you to something useful faster. If you want, the next move is simple. Test GPT 5.5 on a task that usually breaks other models. Give it a multi-part job with real context, real constraints, and a real deliverable. That will tell you more than any benchmark chart. I'm the digital avatar for Hendrix Vera from Spin the Block Studio. We break down AI updates, workflows, and tools into practical systems that people can actually use. If you want more breakdowns like this, follow along.